My brain. Where's the study break thing? Get this out of my face. This whole stream's a study break. Uh, Wait, we have. Oh no. Well, I mean, we have points. But okay. We need like 1,000 per. I feel so weird. The how do you mess with this team? One second. Can't work with this team. It doesn't one shot. Ignore that. I was trying. See if I can set up a full auto. I need to fiddle with this team to get better people. That's kind of good. Good. Up a ring. Off. 5. Mm -hmm. Off. Yeah, yeah. Sugar cup. But have I opus? I do. But it's also technically weaker. And it doesn't have a key because I'm just trolling. Where's my bow? Bow. Bow. I need to replace this with something. I just lost that back. I don't think I have anything better than this. All right, I was gonna try this out. Yeah, I don't think this is it. I think just the raw value of that other this weapon is medium. The medium. Yeah, that one has large though, isn't it? Or is it medium with progressive? It's big boost. Fine. Right, but I was thinking of trying this with almond emoji and just have almond emoji run their X 3 times. And then run this. I guess like this would be fine, right? Just make him cast a skill 1, then he triple, so then he attacks, Ogies, attacks. I'm just trying to like 1 turn it. Or see if we can set it up to 1 turn it. Why did I drop the attack so far? Why did I drop the attack so far? That was almost like a 200,000 drop off. I should probably. Never mind, it's probably not as. Whatever, we'll try it. If it doesn't work, then is what it is. Last details. I just want them to use what they have. Give this a 1 turn it. What's up, Zileric? I'm trying to. I need to go back to the wiki. I haven't touched my like Ogi, like 1 turn Ogi team that isn't uh like can go in strike time, so it's like, and that grid was behind a bit. So I'm trying to make it better. Well, I can't do either of those two. What the hell? I went to their charge attack burst setup, and it's like it's just like both of the grids are just like 5 Sietha swords. I'm like, what? You got nothing for the poor people out here? All right. Almost forgot about him. What do they do after Ogi? I say, they just end turn. Well, I mean, it would probably still be worth because they'll cast at least one. This. I think I'm gonna just try Mr. Soya. Oh, sorry. Golden Knight does have the thing for double Ugly, doesn't she? 15 or more buffs. Oh, that's yeah. That was one of the ones I was looking at, where it's just cow rising force. I'm just kind of confused how do you give Golden Knight 15 buffs? Because I imagine the reason she's in that lineup is because she double Uggies. But you only hit cows one. Yeah, no, some of these wiki grids get fucking crazy, honestly. Oh, does it do something? Or is it constricting? Well, no, because even then, like, she wants to primal stuff. No, she just delays. Mm-hmm. Never owned that thing. No, she's auto tune. Oh, well, whatever. We'll just try this team out. Oh no, but I can't. I'm trying to avoid using characters that I use on other teams because then I have to turn off their full autos. I don't have to, but whatever. We'll just use Octo. It's not like I use full auto Octo. Much of anything really. Oh, my Earth Grid is so garbage. It's just so bad. It's so bad, and a certain Yugu doesn't want to be helpful. Mm-hmm. Behold my Galleon, which doesn't really do anything for me. I just get more raw stats. Alright. Let's see what this team does. If it doesn't get anywhere near close, I'll probably just go back to trying Relic Buster. Temptation chain on Opus gives 13, and Opus also gives 2. Yeah, but like I can understand that from the Rising Force one, but like for instance, Omnyoji, I always butcher that. Has the same thing. Like they also use the Gold Knight, but they're using Dragon Fang. Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna go with it. Not even a question. I forgot to turn it. I guess I should have specified that because I was looking at the other one. When I was saying it, because they have like the Rising Force one with Kao, right? Where it's like Opus main hand with the Temptation chain with uh, Cow Knight, no, fuck, Cow Knight Octo, and then they have like Omnyoji, which is just them with the Dragon Fang, and then Golden Knight Siegfried Octa, and all they do is just hit skill 1 on Octo and MC. You are here, the day is saved. What's up, Goku? What'd you do today? Were you productive? Were you a productive member of Schnishniety? Oh, crap, right. I have to wait for it to do everything else. Oopsie. Actually, I'm kind of curious. Would it be fine without... Oh, that explains a lot. I didn't turn her things off. Hmm. Without using the other one, he doesn't generate enough. Unless I use the other, I make him use like skill, the one that gives like the bar. Hmm. Plus gives up with dagger. Gives 35%. Elemental count, TA. 13 present. Ah. Oh, because it's at start of battle. Like it's not like it's you don't have to have it main hand for that to work. That makes sense. I understand. For some reason, I thought that with that chain, you have to have like you have to main hand it to make it work. All right, then I'm just gonna go back to Relic Buster. I think Relic Buster also just gave more. Just because I don't feel like doing long long. I want to bub. I want to bub something and let my team go ham. It would probably. Yeah, I didn't know that. The only chain I've ever looked at. Oh my god, I hate that button. Why does that button exist in the fucking class screen of all places? Like it makes no sense. You go to this screen, the button's not here. But as soon as you click a class, they put a shining, glowing fucking button at the bottom of your screen, like that just screams "click me." And like, are you kidding me? Like this should be switch class, not fucking select party. Because I don't even want to go back to the select party. I want to go back to the party screen. There's no way in hell that's 1 million. Oh, where is it? I said, is that captain here? No, it's just 3 turns. Got to go though. I'm gonna use no. I didn't want to use characters setups. I just use Alex. I was gonna use oh yeah, because of the fist, the punch effect. I will try it. Yeah, I didn't realize that key worked. The streaming right now? Are you streaming? Okay. Oh my goodness. Streaming? Oh, I was trying to like bring this team together. Not dead, is it? Oh, it is. All right. I, part of me wishes that I could turn that message off, but then part of me doesn't because it's actually saves me a handful of times. Yeah, I could probably turn off Octo's skill one. We'll see. 'Cause I'm imagining there's not with everybody ugging. I don't think the boss survives for very long. I just need to also make this select. Yeah, okay, so it does need Octo. Bro, he survives with like so little HP. If I would just use Sadala, it would be fine. But then I'd have to remember to turn her skills back on for when I use her and anything else, and I'm too lazy to do that. So, tied up in like all the other grids. For mana diver, etc. Makes you feel the 12 buff requirement. Don't see a for version. Ugh. Ugh. I know, see. I pretend I know, read that. I've like been avoiding dealing with the chains. Well, actually, to be honest, actually, it's not related to that. I was just thinking about how if I'm not using Shishuku's 3, I should just replace her with Summer Alex, so Summer Alex casts her skill after, which probably kills. Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Yeah, I'm gonna swap her. She's not really doing anything. When do we get the Leona? God, that turns her into an absolute beast. Not this weird like half buffer character that like fell off because Titan moved away from crit. Oh, I'll just turn her skills off and fight. Oh, Summer Alex. Character that I went from using and everything to I don't think I've used her in forever. Works. Me looking at like example characters for using and saying Holiday Magissa and just soft sob noises for no has. I could also just put Siegfried in here just for old time's sake. I guess I should. I'll check if I have weapons in like an hour. You know, it'd be kind of nice if they somehow let us like have like a here, right? Or instead of having like chat like rookie tapes, letting us have our wish list just be here on this screen would be kind of nice. You know, in hindsight, I probably also could have just done this with Kengo, right? But I think the CA damage from Limit Burst is probably helping. I could have just had Kengo do Kengo like his one. It's also wild to me how the main summon for a setup for Kengo host from Ryoji, like an event summon. That is so wild. Wait, does that have a video? It does. I've been watching so many JP bro Grand Blue videos that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna start getting Japanese ads again on YouTube. When I used to play Lost Ark a lot when it first came out to the West, uh, I was consuming so much like so much Korean videos on it because a lot of the Korean players were like had English subtitles like on the video, not like through YouTube, but like on the video because they realized it was helping them get a lot of views because of people prepping for the stuff to come out. And I watched so much of it that I started not only getting Korean ads on YouTube, I was getting Korean ads on Twitch for like forever. Like even after I stopped playing the game, I think for like a year after, I was still randomly getting like Korean ads. I was like, oh, well, interesting. I thought it was funny. But yeah, I need to. Yeah, we'll check at like the 2 hour mark because I mean we spent a decent amount of the first bit of stream like fiddling with stuff to get it actually one turnable. Because I had been delaying that. I should have done that like during my break, but I was kind of just brain dead watching videos, half of which I couldn't even tell you what I just watched. But I should have done some of this testing. Oh, my dinner break. I could have just gone head first. But we'll check at the like 11 hour, like not 11 hours at 11 p.m. Not about like an hour and a half. We'll take stock of if we gotten. Well, I'm hoping we should have gotten weapons by then, but how many weapons we've gotten? See how many we're missing. I think I'm gonna just try to get 2 of each, maybe. Just because it's like it's a case of you never know when someone's gonna find something. We're having like one in there. I'm still kind of well, I guess it's just their usual thing they do, where they try to shift like a weapon usage. Because I was honestly like, I was expecting the water, like if it was a fist, right? Because I kind of called it was gonna be a fist like a while ago. I know. I was just like I feel like it's gonna be a fist, and I was kind of expecting it to be skill damage, if I'm honest, or well, not really skill damage, but like kind of similar to well, skill damage was an option in my mind, but I don't think it was gonna be the case. But uh, I was thinking maybe something like the Proving Ground Halloween fist, where you get like echoes and stuff for triple attacking and stuff like that. Like I was kind of expecting something like that for water, but yeah, but I was kind of expecting that or maybe like the skill damage. But then I remembered that I think the light fist is skill damage focused. Yeah, MC using a damage skill supplement skill damage up, stacking. I feel like that would really good in water, but I've seen some pretty decent showings with it. Um, I think Wind put a video out today on Spanish ads, despite never actually watching any content or speaking Spanish. On technology for the almighty Google bots to hear. They heard one whisper of an "Ay, Dios mío" in your general vicinity, and they went, oh, Espanol, Espanol. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube is weird sometimes. Like, I sometimes get Spanish ads, but it kind of makes sense to me. I'm a Hispanic household. I think I spend like half the time in my house speaking Spanish nowadays. Well, English for sure. Anytime I don't know a word in Spanish, I'll just say it in English. I will say though, the model for the fist weapon, kind of sick. At least the art, but I mean, a lot of the art looks really cool. The fist, well, I mean, it doesn't look too bad on the MC either. That Lucha video that I saw that they were using the ultimate mastery skill. Uh, it's pretty good. Like seemed pretty cool. Like nice the way it looked on the character. Vermilion sparks for classic. 53 days. I didn't know those had like an actual official reset day. I thought it was just like whenever they felt like it, they would just reset it. I couldn't tell if my dog was like groaning, but he's just snoring. But it's like far enough away that like with the music, I was just like, wait, is he groaning? Because he never groans. He doesn't groan unless he's in pain. I was concerned, and then I was like, oh wait, never mind. This. Ow. No, I just realized we're supposed to get another story event on the end of January, which means more pages, or should mean more pages, which means I need to stop slacking and get around and make another Ultima weapon. Which I don't know if I should make the Ultima staff for just for water grids or if I should get the Ultima katana. Kind of torn between them. Like I'd probably make it light just because I've seen it main-handed for light teams a decent amount. While generally mana diver you just main-hand the opus. But I've seen it used a lot more in water grids because well most of the strong water characters are staff, so they benefit from it pretty strongly. Mjolnir made it all the way to 3 for popular pages on the wiki. I wonder how long it'll take for it to like fall off. But it's updated every 24 hours. Like fall out of the ranking with the nerf. Oh yeah, that's for sure snoring. It's running it. It's coming in loud and clear now. Mjolnir fantasy will be missed by some, not by me because I never would have gotten one. There's a guy who what is it? He put a video. I think it was like 2 days ago or something, where it was called like Mjolnir, like Mjolniring raids or something like that for history or like history's sake. You know, just for to be like it happened. Mjolnir had its moment of glory. I'm just like based. I will say that it might be a bit of a hot take. I don't think if this ever happens again, like if something like Mjolnir happens again with like a gold moon weapon, and people buy the gold moon weapon like after the fact, it's like it's discovered. I don't think they should be refunded the gold moons. Like I know, I like it's a bit of a hot take, right? Because the way you get gold moons technically is from money. Because if you're getting gold moon weapons, you're generally someone who's swiping to some degree. Either that, or you just don't feel like using pick tickets. One of the two. I do know people who they're free to play and they never went for the show pick tickets. They just saved for their sparks and actually got gold moon weapons instead. If there was like really strong ones, but it'll set a precedent. Now, hope like obviously it'd be great if it never happens again, right? Where something like that happens, but if it happens like a second time and people scramble to buy the weapon after the tech's discovered and they give a refund again, it just sets a precedent where people are just going to be like, okay, when something's busted, get the gold moon weapon because they're just going to give you the gold moons back. And then you lose nothing. So you get all of the bonuses of being able to abuse the unintended side effect, keep the rewards from it, which to be fair, like in the long run doesn't really mean a whole lot. And then you also get your gold moons back. So it's less of a case of like I just it's not a case of oh I want to like fuck people over for doing it. No, it's just a case of it's going to set a precedent, and then it'll just repeat itself to where even like people that normally wouldn't spend gold moons on a weapon will do it every time any busted combination comes out because they know that they can just abuse the weapon while it's like busted, and then when it gets nerfed, they'll get refunded. Because I've seen it happen too many times in other games, which is why like developers for games like MMOs and stuff, if it's like a first time of something being pretty egregious, they kind of like they're like, "Are bad, nerf it, you know, do whatever, like leave it be." But then usually from there on, they're pretty a bit more heavy-handed because you don't want that precedent being set in your game by your community. It's not a good one because it's really hard to break down the line. Like I think this one, it's warranted, right? Like it's been so long since we've had such an egregious issue that and nobody knew how they would handle it. Because I mean, Summer Zoe reigned supreme for fucking Lord knows how long. But you know, some people kind of jumped on it, which makes sense. If you have it, might as well use it. Or if you can get it, may as well use it. But it's kind of not something you want to do because like PoE, like Path of Exile has that problem a little bit. They obviously it's not like super extreme. Like if someone does something super egregious, like duping or like abusing a mechanic and stuff like that, to a really hard degree, where it's not intended and it's quite obvious it's not intended and it's kind of like working, right? Because there was a huge argument in the in the Gumblue Reddit. I wouldn't say huge, but almost every single topic I saw of Mjolnir, it got brought up, and people were like kind of arguing about it, or whether or not the Mjolnir interaction was a glitch. Because on one hand, it was like it's obviously not intended. The developers obviously didn't want that to happen because there's a reason damage caps exist. But at the same point, it's not like you're doing any special combination to make it work, right? It's just how the weapon works, and that it just the sheer brute force of it overpowers the damage cap like system that was in place. It's kind of just how it goes. As like it's always interesting because like some people go, well, they're just using game mechanics in an interesting way, and then other people are like, yeah, but it's not intended to be used in that way, and it's obviously not something that's on purpose. Oh, I keep doing it too early. I'm too used to Rise of the Beast. Rise of the Beast was last week, right? So I'm doing what like 12 times a day minimum of clubs one-shotting the the Cardinal Beast. I'm too conditioned to it. I see the bubs drop and I'm already hitting that back button. But it leads to a pretty bad precedent in your player base because like PoE for the more egregious things they hit pretty hard on it. Sometimes they'll even do like rollbacks here and there. Very rare though. But in the case of a build being broken, where like an interaction is obviously not intended, but it's extremely powerful, depending to the degree of the power, sometimes I leave it alone, especially if it's attached to like the league mechanic for for that league season. But what happens is it's like it's developed a a bit of basically the way it is abuse early abuse often. It's kind of like the mentality people have whenever like a really strong build that you're like, okay, there's something going on there that's not supposed to be working, but it is working, and it's making it deal too much damage. Seems to do some of that, and I just broke it with ease because of the 8 Yeah, I mean let's see. Yeah, I mean people use the glitch, but that's not really the intended like the right term for it. It was just a case of like it was really just an oversight, and I don't think I don't know how much internal testing they do or like able to do with how fast the cadence of them pushing things out. Or like I don't know if like with the sheer amount of like grid items like in the game, I feel like the Mjolnir one was probably more easily avoidable, right? Because I don't think the grids themselves are anything insane. I was just stacking a shit ton of attack mods, and then just letting Mjolnir's 8 times crit damage do its thing. So I'm pretty sure I feel like that one probably is a little easier to catch than some like any other types of the interactions, but it's just like I'm kind of curious how much time they have for internal testing for stuff like the Orologia. Because like you said, because like people have said that too, right? That it's existed. Like there's definitely setups for it. It's just the easeability of just having two things doing it for you was second to none. So it makes me curious, like how much internal testing they can do, because I don't think they've used the system in forever. But there used to be the testing characters that you could get whenever you go to the training dummy, right? There was the menu for the testing characters where sometimes you would know who it was and sometimes there'd be question marks and you wouldn't know who it was, but because they were testing out like a future kit and they would have people be able to use them in the like training dummies and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that probably gave them a decent little bit of feedback loop for people who are bored or whatever. But I don't know how much like internal testing, like how much time they have to be able to pull it off. It takes a lot. I don't think players oh not even I don't think I know. Players don't understand that you cannot expect any sort of like gaming like company, well, not necessarily company, but development group to ever be able to catch everything. Because you're competing that devs like that group size against I don't even want to like I don't even know how many players actually play Grand Blue Fantasy. Like someone's gonna stumble upon something broken at some point. Like it's a matter of when, not if. Like because it's so bad. The amount of times I've seen interactions in like an MMO that they're just like, how did the developers not catch that? It's like, bro, you have only so many ways of thinking about it. Not to mention when you're making it, you're not really like when you make something, it's hard to think of how to break it. Like in all honesty, as someone who's like done stuff like welding and like put stuff together and like fabrication and stuff like that, when you make something, sometimes it's pretty easy to tell like how to break it, and then other times you're like, oh, that won't be broken, and someone just comes along, does something, tap tap, and it's just broken, and you're like, what? Like, yeah, that was easy to tell from, like, because you're obviously designing it to not do that. It's such a weird development cycle. In the business world, you have people who are like people actively trying to break your system, or people who are trying to like technically do illegal things and get into your mainframe and get into your network and steal information and stuff. In video games, you have players actively trying to break your game just because they just want to milk out 2 DPS more. You know, they're not actively doing it in the case of like being detrimental. It's just they want to be stronger. And in doing so, they cause unintended side effects. Sometimes it's bugs, sometimes it's just an oversight, sometimes it's like just a weird little like an actual glitch that shouldn't have worked. Like it's just it's just surprising once you realize like what goes on. Like the amount of like developer streams I've seen over the year, but they're just like, we had no idea that was possible until they did it. They taught us things about our own code, though. You know, like for instance, Apex stuff. Like I think it's like 90% of the movement, if not more than that, was just unintentional. It's just the way the code works. So it's just like, mm. Yeah, I don't know. I think they handled the Mjolnir thing fine, though. Honestly. I did see some people being like they should have been faster in it. I'm like, it's probably the fastest they could do. They probably had to have internal being like, what's the best way to handle this in the quickest amount of time possible. Like I wouldn't be surprised if well, first of all, I think it was also time off for them, if I'm mistaken. I saw some people talking about like something about a JP weekend or something. I think they might have also just not been like working because it might have been holiday. I don't know JP holidays. Aside from like Golden Week, which the only reason I know is because we get free things and gotcha games for it usually. And it would be the 1 week that I wouldn't get manga updates. So yeah, I don't know. I'd say they handled it. I don't think they took too long, like regardless of the situation. And I think the payout is fine. Because to be fair, there were actually losers in it, right? Anybody who spent their ticket on it, like post discovery, like if you spent your ticket on it before, you probably don't care. Like you might be a little miffed because you're like, man, I wanted to try something with that. But if you're one of the people just like, oh, it's busted, and used your ticket on it because you held on to it, you're down a ticket now. Like other people got like potentially two usable superlative weapons, while you now can only really get one. When they last updated the child character thing, but the thing it stopped on was added Halloween 2019, so it's been a while. Yeah, no, I think they don't even use that anymore, and I think it's because of the date miners. Because well, I mean, I don't know if that's exactly why, but apparently, I don't. To my complete surprise, I did not know this because, to be honest, like Granblue is one of the few gotcha games I play where I don't really care to know specifically what's coming out because I'm just like, I'll have a spark or a pick ticket ready generally if something I want comes out. Like you could argue that knowing seasonal characters like ahead of time would be great, but realistically, I generally pull seasonal characters based more on like what I want, like if I want the character themselves rather than the kit. But when I was looking into like, for instance, for all the MiHoYo games I play, I'll look at leaks. Like if people leak like what's coming in what order, I'll look because the way that those banners are set up is not knowing is oh I messed up is a bit of a pain because since like you have the limited well I mean like it's so different because like you know when the characters are coming back except for well I think even the Zodiacs have like an actual static rotation through the year. So like you kind of just you're like oh well if I missed it now like I'll just get it whenever they do the rerun because they've been starting to do like the mixed runs right they'll like fit in a different holiday. I think like what they've been doing like old Halloween banners and like summer or some shit. I don't remember. I know there's been a couple times where stuff that's not the holiday has like the holiday banners up, but it's just like in Grand Blue you're like you're not going man. I wonder when it's gonna come back. Right? You're like all right. Well, I missed Halloween, so I'll just get it next Halloween kind of deal. Or if it's a grand character, even more so. You're just like I'll just get it on next Ledger Flash. Not really that big of a deal, but like for MiHoYo games, it's like sometimes they'll rerun super quick. Sometimes you won't see a character rerun for years, and you just don't know. So in those games, I'll look at leaks. I'll go out of my way to find them if I'm playing it relatively actively. Like for instance, Zenless, I want to know ahead of time what's coming because I have to save and like plan out my stuff because I don't know if they'll do reruns if I miss a character that I really want. But I found out that apparently they have that for Granblue. Like there's people that I don't know, like through data mining and stuff somehow. I've never fully looked into data mining because I've never really cared too much. But like I think 2023 was the year that I like stumbled upon it. They knew like half of the new characters coming out. It was like I think it was like around summertime, and they had somehow managed to scrape together. I think it was like half of the characters coming. They just didn't know who was what, and I was just like, huh, interesting. I guess it's also just the case that as a whole, I don't think the community cares about it too much because the reason that in like MiHoYo games it's so out there is because everybody talks about it. Oh crap. Like if you play a MiHoYo game and you look anything up about like future banners, you're going to stumble across leaks because that's just how it is. Like you're going to stumble across it because the conversation is going to lead in that direction because you're just going to, you don't even have to write the word future characters. You could literally just be like banners in like whatever MiHoYo game you want to play, like say banners in Star Rail, and that like you go to Reddit, it will eventually lead you to being like, oh yeah, these are the next banners, and it'll include leaked content from like betas and all that stuff because it's just that's just the norm. Like the way the banner system in Genshin works out, it kind of just promoted that sort of being like, okay, we know, and so we go and like like and people just that's just how they normally float to. Which to be honest, I can't even really fault them because I really don't like the way MiHoYo banners work. Random data download upon opening gotcha game. honestly, honestly, dude. Also, I mean, data miners are also like not exactly the greatest. Because what was it? Warlords of Draenor, one of the worst or best expansions depending on who you talk to. Honestly, for me, I was like, it's pretty shit because I didn't really do a whole lot of rating that one, but I did do some PvP, and PvP had some pretty good highlights in there. I had a pretty good time. But the data miners found out that Gorehowl, which if you're a Warcraft nerd, you understand the big oh shit from that. But if not, don't worry. But just know it's a really wanted axe for orc players. They data mined a model like that you could put on a character that had tats. So we all got excited because we thought that was going to be the legendary for that expansion. Never came out. Never got dropped. The files were there. It was fully made. It was probably a planned content to get added eventually, but it probably got cut with everything that got cut from that because they rushed it too much. But yeah, I don't know. Data mining is pros and cons. Honestly, I can't. It's definitely in a gray zone. It's definitely in a gray zone. It's just in some games you can't avoid it because it's just the community as a whole accepts it, and so they'll talk about it openly, and the developers won't find a way to stop it, so they'll just be like, all right, whatever. Or it's something you have to go and look for, which generally in MMOs you have to go out of your way to kind of find it, depending on what you're doing. I'm not falling, two grown men say. Ugh. Bro, my dog is out. My dog is out. He's just been snoring all the time. All right, I want to watch that video. Oh man, it always something that always trips me up because it's such a rare occurrence. Hold up, my brain like did a reboot. It's like, what am I doing again? All right. Something that always trips me up because it's a really rare occurrence is whenever a name, like whenever like my name or one of my family members' names is in a game or a song because it's so rare. And like for instance, Torchlight Infinite, which I've been playing a little bit because I don't know. I want to play an ARPG, which means I want to play Path of Exile 2, but I don't want to spend the $60 on Path of Exile 2 because it doesn't have what I want right now. Because I like to get to play Path of Exile 2, I want to try the Druid. That not to mention that yeah, I've been keeping tabs on it because I watch like basically any content that passes by. I'm gonna wait for Path of Exile 2. Like even if they add Druid on like when Monster Hunter Wilds comes out, which luckily with the move I should have like the computer set up by the time Wilds come out because if everything goes well, we should be in the house by like the 14th, and then Wilds comes out on the 28th, so I have like 2 weeks to like prep. So I should be fine. But in Torchlight Infinite, there's an NPC with my first name. It's extremely rare. My name's not exactly common. My name from its point, like my actual name from its like country of origin, because it's not a Hispanic name at all, is rare over there. Like a name like nobody really uses much anymore. And so whenever it pops up in like a song or in a game, it's uh it catches me off guard because I'm like, oh, that so people know that name exists. And the irony is that I'm sure there's other games out there, but insert 2 nickel meme here because the 2 games that have it that I am aware of are both ARPGs because there's an NPC in Torchlight that has my name, and there is an item in Path of Exile 2 that has my name. And I'm like, I'm like less speechless that it's happened twice, and more so speechless that it happened twice in the same game genre. And it's just like I'm like, all right, was it just meant to be? Was I just meant to be someone who likes playing RPGs? Like they know I exist. My name's right there. Like it always leaves me a little speechless because it's like I'll see my name on something. I'll do like I'll do the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Like I know that. It's so good. But yeah, my name's not one. Well, maybe now because they've definitely like expanded on it. But like when you go to like visitor centers and stuff, and you try to you know, and they have like the name stuff where it's like Abby, Joe, whatever. It's like name shit that you can find for people. I'd never found my name. The only time we found our names was which was actually kind of weird because we found like for my immediate family, like me, my mom, my brother, my dad. Uh, we found all of our names on when we went to one trip and back to Puerto Rico, like years ago. They had like this little license plate that was like a little like bluish teal. It said like Puerto Rico and like where it says like you know the part where it says the license plate where it's from, like if you're from the States. And then it had like the names under it, and we found all of ours, which is extremely rare. As like as rare as it is to find my dad, my brothers, and mine, it's incredibly rare to find one with my mom's. Because mom's is not only rare, but it's also like longer, and it is so you know it's an uncommon long name, which makes it even less likely to be found in one of those. And we found hers too. That's kind of cool. We were just like, oh shit. And at the time, it was just me, my mom, and my dad. So we had to bring one back for my brother. They're like, look what we found. And he's like, oh snap. It's like, yeah, that's pretty cool though. Moments like that is what makes me like empathize with people who want to feel like represented in the games they play. Cause like some people don't. I guess I don't know. It's a touchy topic to me. I think it's just a normal one, but it's like just as a base factor, it's like people like to play games for different things, right? And like for instance, I generally if I have the option between male and female, I'm gonna pick a male character most of the time. The only time I won't is if I feel the design difference is way too big. Like for instance, Zenless. I feel like Zenless's art design between the male and female like main characters. I'm sure it has to do with like attitude and whatever. But as a guy, like I look at Wise and I'm like, dog, put some like fucking someone teach him how to dress up, right? Like and I don't even say this as someone who dresses nicely, but I got plenty of colors in my wardrobe. Like I don't know. There's just something about it. I just really didn't like it. And then I looked over at Belle and I was like, yeah, I feel like they spent way more time designing her than him. So I just took her. Even then, it doesn't matter because I'm like, outside of the places where they forced me to be the main character, I'm just like Yanagi 100% of the time. But generally, I'll play male characters. Why? Because I generally view characters as kind of like a pseudo extension of myself, right? Like, not completely because, it's a bunch of pixels, but it's like you kind of it's like when you're playing D&D, right? Like you envision that character as you. It's like I try to like I resonate with the male characters. It's like that's I'm like, well, if I was a male orc in World of Warcraft, this is what I'd like to be like. Dual wielding two-handed weapons, slapping the shit out of undead zombies, making them cry for mama, even though they probably don't even remember her because they've been dead for so long. Like you know, but that doesn't mean I won't play like female characters and like other games, right? To be fair, I used to have a big stint where I just didn't want to, especially in MOBAs, because right, MOBAs are based off of a specific character. Some of them are tied to a story, some of them are just whatever. But you play as a character, and you generally tend to main a character in MOBAs, which again, people tend to gravitate towards characters that they feel some sort of connection to. I usually wouldn't play the female characters. Which, to be fair, it was also partially because back then most of the female characters didn't have a kit I liked either. I think the first female character in a MOBA that had a kit that I was like, I really like playing this, and I don't really care if it's male or female, was Johanna from Heroes of the Storm. Like, the character was probably, to this day, it was probably still one of my fondest memories of playing MOBA. Is playing as Johanna, just because of the sheer amount of fucking shenanigans you could get up to. And you just be an unkillable beast, just dive in the middle of their team, slap the shit out of someone, drag them together, and then just like walk out while their whole team's trying to kill you, and you're just like tee, you're just like tee, it's a prank. And you just walk off happy as can be. Like it's so good. And then from there, I slowly like just stopped caring because then I started really getting into like gotcha games a lot more. Which again, you play like I'm not gonna hit a gotcha game. It's like yeah, good luck saying you don't want to use any female characters. Granblue is not too bad, but so many other gotcha games, the female to male ratio is so skewed that it's like if you're like, I'm only gonna play male characters in my gotcha game, you're gonna have like two people to use. You're not even gonna have a full team. Uh, that actually makes me laugh. But yeah, but I don't know. It's just like that's why like what is it? What was the game that got hit with that? I guess well, no, not really. A lot of people kind of applauded the Monster Hunter Wilds, right? The they made a change where now, regardless of gender, you can use both versions of the armor, right? Because there was always there's always been a difference between male and female. Actually, before there was a difference between male and female, and then Blade Master and Gunner. So there was technically like four different designs they did. Uh, in Monster Hunter Wilds, they're like, okay, you can now use either like the male or the quote the male or the quote female, because I don't know what they're gonna like how they're gonna. I don't remember how they differentiated them in the beta, but you can use it on whatever. And I was all for it. I was like, oh, that's sick. I saw so many people on my Yugus being like, oh, they're pandering, blah blah blah. I'm like, who gives a shit? If you don't want to use it, just don't use it. Like, it's not that hard. Like, not to mention in the beta, I used like half of the pieces I used were from the male set, and the other half were from the female set because I thought they looked better. Those people that there's not pre-made designs and custom characters. I like see how many options there are for male female. There's an actual difference between numbers. It's usually in favor of female rather than male. Let's end up making female character due to liking having all the options. Honestly, but honestly, respectable, respectable. You just be like, I just want my options. I just want all of them. I can accept that. Plot twist. The only the only difference is like booba sliders. The lyrics like it counts. It's one. It's still one more. Let me at him. Yeah, I mean, like, there's people that they pick the female characters because they're guys and they pick female characters. And they're like, look, if I'm gonna be looking at the character the whole time, it's gonna be something I want to look at. It's like, you know what? Acceptable. You a thirsty bitch, but acceptable. I don't know. Just look, if it ain't hurting nobody, don't worry about it. That's the way I look at things. I swear, I hate when this happens. Don't get no Yugus because I actually don't know this team can one tap him without Yugu. I think the number is actually kind of tight. Probably wouldn't be so tight if I had an Exalto done, but no, Yugu wants to be a hoe. Well, technically one because they'll both rotate when I run it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I just found it really like a really weird point to get hung up on, or like Monster Hunter Wilds. They're just like, I saw so many things on the Reddit about it, about people genuinely like being like, I refuse to buy this game because of that, and it's like, all right, cool, sick. There's the door. Have fun. Go play Monster Hunter World. I don't know. I feel like it's so weird. The moves I to check out. You can't take drinks around here, especially if I'm just yapping. You never know what's gonna come out. You don't fucking. It's just it came to mind because what is it? There's so many of the early like MMOs that did the sliders, like the free play ones, that so many of them wouldn't have like a pectoral slider for the males, but they'd have like the booba slider for the females. So that came to mind whenever when you said the difference. I know what it is. I know the action. Oh, it still works. Let's go, winning. Whee! All right, so the 20%. Yeah, that was pretty good. I pat myself on the back for that one. Uh, no, I don't know, because it's like, what is it? Lost Ark. Lost Ark would have been hell. Because like, what is it? I played Terra a long time ago. Terra Online. I played Terra Online when it was subscription based because it came out when I was in university and a bunch of us got it. Then I stopped playing it because a bunch of people stopped playing it, and I was like, Well, I stopped playing it because a bunch of people stopped playing it, and one of my buddies who had played it was like, "Have you ever played World of Warcraft?" I'm like, "Yeah, I used to," and then I explained what happened with the old account, and then they're like, "Well, there's a sale. I'm playing. Let's play." That's how I got back into World of Warcraft. Um, and then I'd revisit Terra. Terra, I used to play like I don't think I played any of the new classes they ever added. I didn't play the Gunner. I didn't play the Brawler, and I sure as hell didn't play the Reaper. Specifically because for some godforsaken reason, well, I know the reason is because money, but they were all female character only. They bound them to female characters. The Reaper, you had to play the little lollies, little female lollies, which if I'm mistaken, they got like access like half the class. I don't know. I remember there was a big debacle there for that one. What is it? I think it was like the Gunner was little like the demon people or the elves or something. I don't remember the exact breakdown, but the point was is that they would put them on races that had males because they would have both genders, but only the female from that race could be the class. And it was like, why? And it sucked because I was just like, that was definitely during a time where I was like, I really don't. Like, I was just like, well, first of all, I thought it was just shitty practice. And second of all, I just wasn't, I just don't want to play female characters. But then Lost Ark, it was like, it was slightly different because Lost Ark doesn't well, initially didn't have male and female, right? Like, you didn't go, like, pick male or female and then pick a class. It was like, here's a class, it's male or it is female. And then they would like gender unlock with quotations because really it was like a different class when they were working on it. Point where there's just too many options. One of the reasons I never actually tried Black Desert. Too many options in the character creator. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I had another friend like that. I had a friend who she got choice paralysis. I think that's what it's called, right? when there's just too many decisions to make and your brain just like locks down. She was so excited for Black Desert, and then I think it took her like 3 months to make the first character and actually play the game because her brain would get overwhelmed how many different options because she just loves character creators. But it was so intensive that her brain would just lock up. So she started. What she would do is she got smart with it. She would work on it and then save it, right? Because you could save the templates and then like leave and then come back and like just little by little made her character like that. I was like, high five, you addict. But yeah, no, I feel that. Meanwhile, I look at the character creation on Black Desert, and I do the Lord of the Rings decrepit old man laugh. You have no power here, maneuver. Because I speedrun the shit out of character creators. I speedrun it. I look at I look at the pre-mades. I see which one looks more or less what I like. I go over to the hairstyles. I check out what hairstyle I like. I see the color. If I'm playing a female, I check over to the makeup. Be like, is there anything that looks kind of cute? Yes, no, and then boom, bada bing, bada boom. Also, I usually make them like short, but then again, nowadays I don't want my character short because it's funny. Uh, and then bam, we in the game. I'm like speed running through it. I've been yelled at for that though, especially for Black Desert. Lost Ark was another one. Lost Ark has a pretty good character creator with a decent amount of options, and then it's just like a. That's another one. That's what I got into with friends. They're like, "You're done." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" Found a pre-made face that looked cute. Got a hairstyle that looked cute. Bada bing, bada boom. We good to go. Random people in the background. Ain't nobody got time to be. It's like, bro, I'm here to. Because, like, for instance, for me, the biggest issue, I never like stick around to character creators too much. Is usually in most games, I just like deck out my character from head to toe completely. Like, it gets a closed helmet like half the like most like. It's a race that can have a fully like helmeted character that just doesn't clip and look weird. He's probably gonna they are probably gonna have a helmet that you cannot see their face, and you just can't see. You wouldn't be able to tell what they were from top to bottom with how I paint my characters out. Ruin all the emotions, dog. The fucking potatoes. Lava fills are the devil. Oh, the devil. I hate lava fills. The only acceptable lava fills is Papa Papalimo. Or I butcher his name. I just call him Big Papa. and Robin's son Pippin, who had some hands in Stormblood. Good old Stormblood launch. I have such fond memories of that. Oh man, it was so funny. I still have fond memories of it. It was a complete like technically it was a disaster for like the team because of how it panned out, but as a community, like yeah, people were upset, but people like long term players, dog. People say that video games make you aggressive and violent. MMOs are actually games that are brought up in that argument. I have never seen. I've never played a game. Well, I mean, there's been a couple other ones, but specifically MMOs. I have never played a game where players voluntarily got in line in a queue to try and reduce the strain on the server. Because what was happening is the beginning of Stormblood had, I think it was 4, almost back to back solo instances for questing, which, well, Stormblood was an immensely popular because it was coming off of Heavensward, which at the time was like it had rocketed Final Fantasy 14 to the stop. And it was like, yeah, Raban Extreme and Pip Extreme were the two quote unquote initial promo fights of Stormblood. But like we all just got in line and got in a queue and would like scooch up whenever the person in front of us would disappear. And if they reappeared, we were like, oh shit, we'd scoot back. Like, and we're all just doing stupid things and just talking up in line. like voluntarily, because there's no system in the game to force this. Because like what would happen is that since it was all solo instances and you had all of these players trying to do this at the same time, therefore the game has to generate Lord knows how many millions of instances at the same time. Because I'm thinking at the time it still worked like normal, where or like how it was like kind of like quote unquote standard practice, where it was like the maps were on one server and then all the instances were like kind of on a different server rack, like obviously not singular, but and so I was thinking what was happening was that there was just a sheer amount of requests that these that like the server builds that are supposed to handle the instance like handshakes and creation just couldn't handle it, and you had like 4 of those. And then the problem is that like 2 of them were like pretty short, so if you could get in, usually you'd be get in and you'd get out. And then you had 2 really long like event ones, which was Raban, and then it was Pippin. And so we lovingly called it Raban EX and Pippin EX because because the worst part about those 2 was that when you got into it, you weren't guaranteed to be able to finish it because it might crash while you're in there. So then you had to start all over. Oh, I loved it though. I had such a blast playing that because like because technically you didn't have to continue, because once you got past like the initial like oh hey we're here, you could technically go to the rest of the map, which is what a lot of people did. Is they started going to the rest of the map and they'd mess around, they'd go do the fates and stuff like that to kind of like because everything else on the map worked fine. The problem was anything that was instance. So duty finder was kind of fucked. The solo quest instances were kind of fucked. So you had the people in line were just people who were just like, I don't really feel like going to do anything. We're just going to chill here. And then everybody just started shooting the shit and just talking about dumb things and having a grand old time. And it was great. And it's funny because, again, well, I kind of cycle back to it because Warlords of Draenor, God, unfortunate. That was such a hyped expansion for World of Warcraft. That was the one where they went all out. And in Times Square, Blizzard, which means they spent a lot of money. Blizzard made like a huge, what was technically quote unquote life-size replica of Gorehowl, the axe that I had mentioned earlier, and stuck it in a taxi cab, and I think it was in the middle of like Times Square, because that was the ad for it. Because the premise of Warlords of Draenor that we go into a different timeline and we're fighting orcs, and that one had the same problem. The initial point of contact into the new content was an instanced event. You had to set up your garrison. That caused an absolute shit show. The only difference is you literally could not do anything if you couldn't get past that. You couldn't do a damn thing because you couldn't access the rest of the map without completing that solo instance. And it was so bad. And but it was just a case of like, you know, shock shoulders. We weren't expecting those problems, right? Because like, what is it, PoE? That was one of the reasons they delayed it. The launch. I mean, there was a couple of reasons, but I know one of the bigger ones was they were just like, yeah, we didn't expect that many people to pre-order, like to buy the early access. They're like, so we're gonna try to get some other stuff online, so that way it's not too big of a shit show. And I think there were still some issues on launch, which is normal, but it was kind of fine. But it was just, I don't know. So like, so I guess that's why, like, on one hand, like, I feel like, I don't know, most people I talk to that played Stormblood launch generally have fond memories because most of us just remember the stupid shenanigans we would have. I guess it depends on the server. I was on Ultros. So Ultros was pretty fun times, honestly. Like back when the servers were still kind of like secluded. It was pretty fun. Just you'd come across some pretty fun, interesting people just doing stupid shit, and then you just join and be like, hey, we're all stupid together. It was pretty good. It was pretty funny. But then, like, in World of Warcraft side, you couldn't do anything, right? Because the instance before the garrison setup was like multiplayer, right? Like you'd see other people. There was a boss you had to fight. You had to fight, quote unquote, over trees to chop down because shared resource nodes at the time weren't really like implemented for questing as well as they are nowadays. And it's just like, but you still had people, but then you'd get stuck in the solo instance by yourself where all there was NPCs. So the only people you could like talk to were like friends that you were talking to on Discord and stuff. You didn't really have time for like you didn't have an opportunity to do stupid shenanigans with like somebody else while you're both waiting. You know, you couldn't be with your friend in line for your little self-imposed queue and to do stupid emote dances like it's fucking Fortnite in an MMO. You'll never catch me playing Fortnite. There's that's kind of another thing. There's very few games that I will never play again. Like it's a very short list. Fortnite is on that list. It's not at the top of the list, but it's on that list. I might try some like there might be someone who could convince me to try some of the other modes because I did Lego Fortnite for a little bit. Wasn't too bad, but I kind of looked at it like I kind of played it and went like, if I'm gonna play this, I should just play Terraria, or I'll just go buy Minecraft. Because I've seen some people I know that stream Minecraft and they've streamed it with mods, like not like the graphic mods, but the ones that like change how the game plays. I think there's one that turns it into like a pseudo PoE thing, which looked kind of interesting. I was like, okay, I can fuck with that. Uh, but Fortnite in and of itself, I don't think I'll ever play. I don't actually know there's another battle royale I could play. I do want to try out Delta Force. It's just that Delta Force kind of came out around this whole like I'm gonna learn an actual life skill thing, right? So I've been spending more time doing that, which severely cut down on gaming time. Which I mean, I guess it just makes me closer to like a normal person, you know. If it wasn't for Grand Blue Fantasy, like my actual gaming time would be non-existent with how much I study. Quotations on how much, because to be honest, it's really not that much. I don't study on the weekends, but mostly because honestly, I think if I studied on the weekends, I would just like pass out midstream. Just not even from being tired, just from like my brain just being like, I refuse to think right now. But it's just like it's a free game. I don't. It doesn't have a battle royale as far as I know. I think it has like a battlefield mode, which I'm more interested in. And I think there's like a Tarkov mode. I don't have to mention it. All I know is Jimbo talked about it. I looked at it when it looks kind of cool. It got released. I don't think Jimbo's ever played it again since he told me about it, and then I haven't really had time to play it because it's not very high on like shooters aren't very high on my list of things to play right now. Yeah, I play Apex every once in a while, but that's just because I want the stupid skin. If it wasn't for the stupid Watson skin, I would not be playing Apex. Even though I do enjoy like the feel of shooting, like the feel of the like FPS gameplay and Apex is honestly fantastic. Like I really enjoy it, but everything else about it pisses me off. But to be fair, I haven't really had a drive for like I did have a little stint where I think I talked about it on stream a bit where I was like, man, I really want to play like an FPS game, and it kind of like passed. It kind of passed. Now I'll play an FPS game, right? Like for instance, going back to the list of games I'll never play. Fortnite's on it. League of Legends may be an honorary member, but is kind of like seated on it. I played a lot of League in my life. I watch other people play League, and every time I watch them play League, I do not get like I'll watch somebody play Apex and do something fun in Apex, and sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'll get that little like, ooh, that like we could do something fun, and then either I'll remember that for some reason my matchmaking makes me play against master players, and it reminds me that I can't do something that fun, or I'll like play a game and then that reminds me that my matchmaking puts me against master players, so I can't do something fun, and then I'll be like, no, I'm good. But but you know, I'll watch someone play League of Legends. Like I'll watch like Yuna play League of Legends, and I'll just be like, no, I'm good. I'll watch somebody else who plays top lane, which is what I preferred playing back in the day, and I'll be like, no, I'm good. It just doesn't call for me, which is really weird because like I kind of like Deadlock, which is it's not League, but it's still a MOBA, but it's more like Smite, right? Because it's like third person slash FPS because you can like zoom in. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like I watch videos pretty consistently. There's a guy called Zergy on YouTube. Pretty fun to watch. He plays it with a trackball. Actually, kind of cool. Not a mouse. Like he's got like one of those desk trackballs, and he plays this FPS like you know, or I guess like shooter MOBA with it, and he's pretty fucking good. So it's been kind of cool to see. I like watch it. and like watching it makes me go, man, I kind of want to play that. But then I'm like, but then the only reason I think I didn't really get into Deadlock too much was one that it's still in very early stages. I think it's technically still in alpha, if I remember correctly. It's not even in any of the beta forms. Um, but none of the characters really resonated with me. Like there was one character that was kind of fun to play. I thought I'd like the goop. There's like a walking goop person that they get to like throw like punches of goo at people and stuff, which seems kind of fun. But I still like watching people play them, but then actually playing them, I'm like, not really for me. Uh, and then there was Paradox, who's kind of fun, but like her skill, like I would still play her for fun, but it wouldn't be in the case of like, I want to like actually play this game kind of style. It would be a case of like if someone comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Mello, do you want to play Deadlock?" I'm like, "Sure." I'm about to be the worst damn Paradox you've ever seen in your life. So that's part of it. Is it didn't really have a character that I was like, "Oh, I really like playing this." So I kind of like drifted away from it, and then like most people I know don't really play it because well, the matchmaking is like non-existent, and so it's kind of a coin flip on whether you're gonna steamroll your enemies or your enemies are gonna steamroll you. At least the last time I played, it's been a while. So I haven't played that. So I do like MOBAs. I haven't. I know Smite 2. I think is coming out soon. Don't particularly care. I played a decent bit of Smite back in the day. I played it in beta. I bought the that one pack for Smite 1 that gave you like all the heroes like forever. Well, up until Smite 2. Uh which is probably one of the reasons they did Smite 2. Oh, kidding, it's my brain keeps defaulting back to Rise of the Beast. Um to be honest, I've been so I used to watch what was it, Weekend? Weird word to say. Week. Makes me feel like I'm saying the weekend, but Weekend, like Weaken, who used to be a pro Smite player and then retired, turned content creator. I liked watching his videos because it was pretty informative because pretty high level from what I understand. He was pretty good uh, in his pro days. And even when his videos pop up for Smite 2, even though I know I'd probably enjoy watching it, I just haven't watched it. So I don't know. There's something about Deadlock that's kind of cool. I don't know if it's just the pew pew. Even though I don't really like the reload, how the reload works, but I feel like the reload's a little too long. But I think that's just part of the balancing they're doing in the game. What else? Supervive was fun. I still want to play Supervive. It's just that when I last like tried to stream it a couple times, right? We had so many games where like half the teams were just actual bots, just inflating the numbers. And like I don't generally mind it, but the way they were coded like was really annoying. And it was like you would die as like the 10th place team specifically just because there's bot teams in, and the way they're coded is like one of them is usually by themselves, like running away for like I'm pretty sure it's coded to just know where people are at and just try not to go to those areas if it can. So unless somehow one team kills the other like three like bots put together that are like grouped together, and then another team somehow kills the one straggler that's like over there, you're not eliminating a bot team anytime soon, like until the ring starts closing, which kind of just left a sour taste in my mouth. Though I'll still watch videos on it, but that is a game I do want to revisit. It's just a case of priorities, right? Right now, like if I'm playing during the day, it probably means it's Monday, which probably means I'm playing with Zilla, which means we're probably just gonna either play Apex, and then once we're done with that BP, probably gonna play something else. I don't know what that something else would be. It might be back to Terraria, it might be First Descendant. I don't know, but I don't. Maybe I might drag Zilla into Supervive or something just to fuck around. But it's probably not going to be Supervive. So then that leaves playing at night. But then at night, I'm so brain dead from studying during the day that like I don't really want to play anything like super intensive like that. Which is also going to be kind of weird because I'm going to be trying to play Monster Hunter Wild's brain dead, because Monster Hunter Wild, what's probably going to happen is, depending on the situation, uh, aka what's going on with house, whether the internet's all set up and stable, and I can stream it, and if my computer can run it and it doesn't look like stuttery garbage, it's probably not going to look very good because I'm probably going to have to drop the settings super low to stream it. But as long as it doesn't like cause the frame to stutter weirdly through OBS like it did when I streamed it for the beta, which was really weird, right? Because like it would stutter for you guys, but it wouldn't stutter for me, and so it was really hard for me to tell, especially in a fight when it was like stuttering for y'all, because I'd have to like glance at my phone, and then I'd be like, oh, like depending on what I was fighting, I sometimes couldn't glance at my phone, and it just like I just couldn't figure out what was going on there. I think it might have just been like a rendering problem between OBS and the game, but it probably also might have just been like hardware problem, not being able to keep up. Because I couldn't like look at the OBS program itself long enough in a circumstance that I wouldn't just die to then lose the data, right? Like basically the only way I would have been able to play was to have either someone else playing on my computer while I look at what OBS is doing, or like I play while someone else is looking at OBS and telling me what's going on, kind of deal. And neither of those were an option, so it's kind of hard for me to try to figure out. It's like, is it a game problem? Is it a computer problem? Is it just whatever? My friend those don't have one kept out the Yugus. Oh, if the 150 killed it, I think the 140 should kill it too, right? Opium. Yeah, so the plan is that when Monster Hunter Wilds drops, if everything else is fine and I don't have to like worry about it, the plan is at the very least, well, because it comes the 28th. When is the 28th? Like I'm like what day of the week? Obviously, I know. All right, so the 28th is a Friday. What's probably going to happen is I will stream it all day Friday, more than likely all day Saturday, probably part of the day Sunday, and then the entire following week will probably just be Monster Hunter Wilds. Like if it's streamable, right? Due to like everything else going on being fine. If any one of those other options are a problem, then what's probably going to happen is that the day schedule won't be disrupted at all, but the night schedule will probably just be Monster Hunter Wilds for a while instead of the coding stuff, which will slow down my initial plans of being done with the stuff like towards the summer. But well, to be fair, I think the MIT lecture we should be done with it. I might try to like power through the MIT lecture stuff like next week, just to get one of the courses kind of done and over with for the studying portions of it. Because then what I plan to do is like I'm going to finish all the MIT lectures, and then I'm going to go back and look at the problem sets and the code for all the different lectures, and like try to work through all the different stuff as like cementing foundations. But yeah, hopefully everything works. They talked about that for Monster Hunter Wilds, on top of the fact that they added like new things to all the weapons, quote unquote new things. Some of it was like actual new things that weren't that the weapons never had. Some of it's like just been returning older stuff that they took out because they were like, maybe this will be better, and then people didn't really like it, so they're putting it back. Or maybe they had just planned to put it in the whole time, it just wasn't ready to be made by the beta. But they also said they made a lot of optimization to the game, because from what I understood, even on like PS5 it was kind of chunky for running, let alone on PCs across the spectrum. Unfortunately, the beta that I saw that they were going to do before release, which I'm imagining is probably going to be some point in early February. Well, usually they do it, I think, like 2 weeks ahead of time. Oh no, this is going to happen as soon as like, yeah. I had a feeling that with the 140, there was going to be times where it wasn't going to kill it. I got a 150 again. Yeah, I probably won't stream the beta they're going to do again, because they already said that the beta is not going to have any of the any of the of the of the optimization or the new moves. It will have a new monster though, so I do plan on playing it like in my own free time, uh, probably gonna drag Rook's podcast into it if I can. So that way he can actually play a Monster Hunter game, so he's not just yeeting like $70 at something that he doesn't know if he's gonna like or not. But whatchamacallit? Uh, yeah. So the general game plan is probably won't change. Well, aside from the usual, I have to move, so there will probably be like a week of no streams or maybe very like meh quality no mic streams or something because I might just stream from my laptop. Uh, and I'm too lazy to do all the things I did on my like tower setup to my laptop because I had to like download some programs and stuff for the mic to make it sound a little better and not pick up so much like background noise and stuff. Like what is it? Sometimes it'll catch me like sniffling, depending on like how bad my sniffling is or how close I have my mic. Cause sometimes I don't have it like super duper close. Sometimes I do. This depends on how I'm sitting on that day. But like, it's what keeps you guys from hearing whenever my old man decides to like go into the garage for whatever random reason. And apparently it's good enough to block out the garage door getting open and closed because before some people said that they didn't hear that either. So I think I did a decent enough job on that, but that took a lot of like fine tuning that I'm just way too lazy to do. Not to mention that if I'm streaming from my laptop, I won't have the mic arm. So if I don't have the mic arm, it means I have to have like the mic on the it's just a pain. So if I stream from my laptop, it's probably just going to be no mic streams, and it's probably just going to be it'll probably be either coding, ground blue, which is what we're doing anyway, and I might do some TFT streams, maybe depending on how long the stint is of not being able to use my tower, right? And then obviously there's going to be like no streaming days because when I move to the other house, it's not going to have internet, so we're gonna have to wait to get that set up. And I mean, I could probably try to see if my data works fine with through mobile if it's just like a couple days. But those would also just be like studying streams. But yeah, I don't know. I'll let y'all know in the Discord. I've been doing a half decent job of being able to let people know about that stuff throughout. I'm trying to be more active on the Discord. I'm like really bad at being active on Discords personally. So it feels kind of weird because usually like I'll just like look in a Discord and be like, oh, that's what's going on, and then go back to doing my own thing. So I try to be a bit more active, at least on my own, like inside my own Discord. But it's just I don't know. My brain's kind of just there's not a whole lot of juice left after on lecture days. There's not a whole lot of juice left for for like being like, oh, is there anything that happened today that might be worth like chatting, like bringing up in the Discord? And usually my brain's like, the only thing worth bringing up is going to bed, laying down, eat some food. I'm like, you right, brain, you right. But yeah. But yeah, so that's the general game plan. I plan on playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Hopefully my computer can run it just fine with the optimizations and stream it. Graphics might be set a little low, but as long as it doesn't stutter to all hell, it should. I'll still stream it. What else? I'll keep an eye on PoE 2, and whenever Druid gets added, I'll probably buy it. I don't know if I'll stream it, but I'll definitely buy it. The early access. Probably gonna get the $60 one just because I like the cosmetics and it brings the shmoney. That's about it. I don't really plan on buying any other games anytime soon. Mostly because like my savings are starting to dip lower than I want them to be. So, but I'm hoping that because like my general plan is I want to sometime in summer start like applying for like really like low jobs I can find. At the very least to see if like any of them will, get back to me for taking any like coding tests and stuff to try to learn what's expected for stuff. And then hopefully get something. I'm not even hoping for something like full time. Like I'll even take like a part-time job or something. As long as it pays. Just so I can comfortably build my savings back up, be able to buy games a bit more uh regularly, at least when they go on sale. Uh may get a setup. But I was thinking that after I find work, I might try to get a setup for maybe just get like a cheap-ish, like something that's quality's not too bad. But I try to do a setup for if I get like Gundam kits, like SD Gundam kits and stuff, where I can do like a Gundam building stream. Because I've seen people do that, and I'm like, ugh, I really want to get back into kit building, but if I do it, I may as well like stream it just to chit chat and stuff. I don't really like model kits. Well, I like Legos and stuff. I've built two SD Gundam kits because I wanted to get like the bigger, like the regular grade ones, but I was like, those are kind of big for, and I don't really have like a lot of place to put. And so I was like, I'll wait on those. 160, let's go. I'll just wait on those and get them later. Like whenever I get somewhere that I have like shelves and spacing to put, which in this other house, like that's probably just gonna be whatever corner I put basement for my computers and stuff. But yeah. Kind of just little plans, but a lot of them kind of are more dependent on getting work. So I can have income to spend. But I think that's about it for current goals for the rest of this year. It's just that because I don't really spend money on gacha games. And Grand Blue, yeah, there are like some of the subtext are pretty good for grabbing because they have like limited characters and stuff. But I still don't think I'd like spend them. I gave them my dues long time ago when I subticked Siegfried back when he was top dog. So I'm content. I'm not gonna lie, I probably pass out in my chair. But we're close to checking if we gotten weapons, so be pretty nice. But yeah, I think that's about all the plans I got for or like all the concrete plans, right, that I can set. TFT, I kind of like. Part of me wants to play TFT again, but I'm not a big fan of the set. My brain's off. Uh, like the set that we have at the moment. I don't necessarily think it's like bad per se, but I'm not a big fan of like for as a player, like as someone to watch, like I'll watch like clips and stuff of other people that play, and I'll just be like, oh, interesting to see them, hit the big wins and stuff. But as someone who's played it, like I got to gold, which is enough to get the the freebie tactician next set. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just not a real big fan of it. I don't like the anomaly system too much, honestly. I'm not a big fan of anything that makes me have to spend more gold because I feel like it's more rewarding for people in the lead, especially now that they changed it where the anomaly the anomalies can repeat after a certain amount of time. And it's because like before they did that change, you could just stock up like 60 gold, roll down, and you were guaranteed to be able to hit the anomaly you wanted, which in some cases could literally mean the difference between going eighth and going like top four. Like it could like save you out of a real bad spot. But one, I think they tamped down on some of the higher forming anomalies that allowed for that. And then they introduced like the extra RNG to the system of, well, you can technically repeat anomalies, so you can't guarantee them. At least not with like a reasonable amount of gold. I think like the math added up that you need like a couple hundred gold to get through all of them, which is just unreasonable. Um, like it's unreasonable to expect to be able to do that right in every game that you're doing poorly, especially because you need to spend gold to level. You need to spend gold to get characters, usually depending on your augments, like stuff like that. It's just like I don't know. I kind of wish I like I made the mention where I kind of wish I had played the earlier set, like the previous set a little earlier. I know it had its own problems, but I kind of more meant that I wish I had played it like a little earlier than I did, which the patches were pretty good, and I played a little bit more because I kind of just got to gold and I was like, oh well, that was gold, and that's good enough because that was my initial plan, right? Was to get gold, and then to be honest, I kind of enjoyed the balance at the end of last set, and it honestly wasn't too bad a set with the traits and stuff. But then I didn't really have a whole lot of time to get through plat to emerald and all that. I think I got to like plat three. I don't remember. I had some pretty good runs. I remember it being pretty decent. And me sitting there like, damn, I could have probably hit diamond again this set if I had played more and played a little earlier. But this one, I don't know. It's just I don't really care too much about arcane, so I'm not too interested in the units in it. The traits are like okay. And then I don't like how the anomaly system works, so I'm not like too big of a fan. And then like 6 cost, like cool on paper. It's just like I don't know how much 6 costs have actually impacted the meta aside from Victor, because Victor's just a free 2 second stun, basically. I mean I don't know how it is now, but definitely because like I played when Victor was like new, and it was like it was a huge difference. Like you would literally, unless you vastly outstripped the power of whatever board you were fighting, like you were gonna lose to a board that had Victor if you didn't have Victor. So I don't know how the bouncing for that's gone. I do know I've heard that Warwick's actually kind of well, like Experiment's pretty good now, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just the itch for TFT is like there but not there, right? Like I go, man, I want to play TFT. Looks at the set, and then I go, but I don't want to play that TFT, right? So, mm. It's kind of like when you play like a trading card game, right? Like on one of the like the actual game itself, and then we'll do like two, we'll do like three more, and then we'll see what our weapon count is looking like. Um, but you play like for instance like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, on the computer, or Yu-Gi-Oh Duels or something like that, and they do that a shift where they like go, these can't be used in competitive anymore, and these are now here and stuff like that. And then you go, oh, well, I want to play the game, but I don't want to play like this meta of the game, right? Like I kind of feel like it's like that. It's not necessarily like meta, but it's like I want to play the game, but I don't want to play I don't want to play like the current cards available. EFT, we call them that. So, not to mention that like coding is kind of scratching the itch that TFT was scratching. But I came to realize that the reason I like TFT is because it made me use brain power. Obviously, I had like some RNGs involved, but a lot of it's just brain power and making good decisions and stuff like that. And coding kind of like scratches that itch. So I'm pretty chilling. I'm pretty content. But oops. Okay. All right, we'll take count after this one. But yeah, so TFT probably won't play it again anytime soon. If I play it again, it'll be because I'm just like in the mood, and probably because I'm on the laptop. Oh, all that, and we only got one gun and two fists. Edge. Hoping for more. I think I'll do another hour, and then after that, no, I probably won't buy it until the last day, honestly, just in case, because I plan on having it auto when I do the studies in what is it? Oh, I still need, yeah, this, I still, yeah, 155, yeah. I'm probably gonna just have it full auto, the 160s, like when I'm studying at night. And then just have that so that I can uncap and keep leveling and stuff. Just have probably full autoing that. Probably like 160, 165, something that's not too quick so I don't have to keep babysitting it while I'm studying. But yeah. We'll do another like, probably not an hour. I'm kind of fucking tired. I'll probably do another like 30 minutes or so and then dip out. And by dip out, you know, it would be like, oh, Mellow, go get sleep, get rest. No, I'm just probably gonna go play like Torchlight Infinite and listen to streams for like another 2 hours. Because that's just what I do. My brain just, it goes, we no sleep, we game. But yeah, it's fine. This compensates for the luck I had on the last one. Actually, the last couple, I had some pretty good luck on weapon drops for the last couple. They were kind of raining down. I was like, come to daddy. But yeah, so we'll do this for like another 30 minutes. Then call it quits. I was actually planning to go till like midnight today, but then I forgot that I was gonna wake up early, and if anything, might, depending on how much like of the Wonder XP I need, might do more on Friday. But Friday, if like I don't need to do that much more Wonder XP, then I will probably, well, even then, like probably not. I'll do Arkham on Friday because I have till the 21st. Well, technically the 20th. I have the weekend, and I'll probably just have it full autoing over the weekend. So yeah, so probably because I want to do Arcarum because I want to get Frau progress done because we're almost done with the Lesters. Whiteboard, it's not on my whiteboard. We're almost done with the Lesters. We need another 83 of these. I think I need like 210. No, I need more than that. I need like 230. What I need, so I guess I need another 103. And then after that, I need to farm the Ideens and the Veritas and then the proofs. And then I need to go get the World Quartz. Put that on my. Actually, I don't. I have to like progress something. The story. Yeah, might have to do just a story. Skip Fiesta through that. No. No. No, you goose. No, you goose. No, not. But yeah, I'm so dead tired. I've been up since like 8, so like 13 hours. I mean, it's like I guess a normal amount of hours. It's always funny when you like break down how many hours you sleep, right? Because I usually sleep on average like 7, 8 hours a day. Because usually I go to sleep at like 3 or 4 in the morning, And then usually my alarm is set for 11:30, but I usually actually wake up before that. I think usually I wake up like an hour before that. So in reality, like if I go to sleep at the earliest, which is like 3, I usually wake up around like 10:30 the first time, about like 7 hours, 7.5 hours, like 7.5 to 8 hours. 9 hours if I'm like real dead tired and my dog doesn't wake me up. Oh, I should have. Uh, like let's just say like it's a good day. I get 9 hours. That's still like what 16 hours left to do everything else in the day. So it feels kind of weird to be like, yeah, I've been awake for 13. Like, all right, cool. I'll have like 11 more. Actually, is it 13? Nothing that right? I'm not. It's 15. 8 in the morning. Mellow. 12 hours. 8 p.m. 3 hours. Never mind. I'm just dumb. I've been up for 15 hours. Therefore, I'm getting close to the 16 hours. What? I'm not going to go to sleep at the 16 hours because I'm dumb. I'm going to do some gaming and then, like, I'm tired. I'm tired. That stupid square of letters bullshit from earlier just destroyed my brain. I shit you not. Oh, I am mad that I wasted 3.5 hours on that stupid problem. But I'm happy that I decided to say fuck it and look up the code and like actually and not just take the first one I could find, but like actually look through them and be like, all right, which one of these makes sense to break down? And then I found that one, right? And then we broke it down and I was like, oh my god, this is so simple. It's fucking genius. Because honestly, like it was so good. Because I'm what I'm hoping is that since I broke it down, right? Because I think I spent like probably 40 minutes just breaking it down, like what was making it work step by step. Because in reality, right, if you're doing something, when you're learning how to do something, there's nothing wrong with if you hit a hard wall and you're just stuck and you just have no idea, everything you're doing doesn't work. You try to look up just like advice and tips, nothing's really connecting. It means that there's like a basic that you're not like really getting there. There's nothing wrong with looking up like the answer. The problem is you cannot stop at looking up the answer, right? You have to do what I did. And this isn't in anything you do if you're learning a new skill. You have to understand why the answer is the answer, right? So, like for instance, the guy, I took his code and I brought it over and then I split it into chunks, right? And I had it print every step that it was doing. And then my brain understood what was going on, right? It was like, oh, he's doing this, he's flipping it, he's then grabbing it, flipping it back, and then putting it together and it's giving you what you want. And then it works because of this, this, and that. Like, there's nothing wrong with like looking up to the answer. I I don't regret struggling on the problem for a long time before doing that. What I regret is spending that much time on the problem before doing that, right? Like I think if at the 2 hour mark, I had just been like, all right, look, this is just not working. I'm just gonna try to find it, learn from this, go on to the next one, right? Because in reality, I think my time would have been much more efficiently spent if I spent 2 hours like busting my balls trying to figure it out, or at the very least, the first break, which is an hour and 45 minutes, so about the 2 hours, and then just gone and looked for an answer, found an answer that like made sense in the way of like simplicity's sake, and then move on from that, right? And then if I run into that issue again later, kind of revisit it, look back at what I learned from finding the thing, and then applying it again to whatever problem I come into is fine. Like, I don't regret struggling on it. I just regret that I was inefficient after the first like 2 hours. Because like realistically, after I rewrote the thing like 6, 7, 8 times, and it kept getting stuck at the same point. At that point, I literally like around the fourth or fifth time, I probably should have just stopped and just googled it and just grabbed something and then just dissected it in the actual Python program to figure out what was going on, and then like actually work. Because this also shows the fallacy of like looking up information sometimes, right? That was the only answer I saw that did not use a nested loop for that. Because everybody else looked at it, went, oh, you have to use a nested for loop. And some of it would be like set up an array and do this nested for loop, or you're doing something else and setting up a nested for loop. He did everything in there without a nested for loop. Now, it would probably be a little bit more efficient with a nested for loop? Potentially. Not with the examples I found, because a lot of the other ones I found were at least like 4, 5, 6 lines longer to do the same thing, which means takes more time to run. Like, so, which would lead to it being inefficient for that specific instance. Probably more efficient for more complicated things higher up, but very inefficient for what we needed for the moment. And it was such a slippery slope because it kept conditioning my brain to only think about nested loops. And I just couldn't figure out for the life of me how in a nested loop to do the thing. And to be fair, even if it wasn't like that, like, I mean, to be fair, if someone had kind of been like, think about slicing things more, because there was comments about like, oh, you might like tackle it from like a slicing point of view. Because the part that like sucked was that a lot of people were like, oh, well, you need to lay out what you need to do and then tackle the problems from there. And it's like, well, I couldn't lay out what I could do, right? I was like, I need to decide how many letters from the alphabet I need. Move that over. I need to figure out the formulaic way of telling how big the square is going to be for every single instance of layers, which we found out, right? It was number times 2 minus 1 would always end up being the length and width of the square. Technically, it's a square because technically it has the same number of like units vertically and horizontally, but it visually looks like a rectangle because the units are not like the same size vertically as they are horizontally. But you know, it was like I could figure out the things I needed to do. I couldn't figure out with what I was finding how to do the things until that one block of code. Because as soon as I would try to look through the other ones, because my goal is there was a couple times I would look through the codes that were being provided just at like to kind of glance through it and see what was being used, right? Be like, all right, are they using a for loop or a while loop? And to be honest, I saw a mix of both. I saw some of them using while loops, some of them using for loops. So it means either one worked. Stuff like that, because you did have a value that you could while loop relatively easily that wouldn't require you to like do a counter. Well, I mean, you'd still have to do like the minus equal thing or the plus equal thing. Well, mostly the minus equal thing. But it's just like you kind of have to be careful when you're looking stuff up, because again, just because you know like more advanced things doesn't necessarily mean you know how to do things the best way. Because I forget what it is. It was like a saying that I learned back in when I was doing like welding stuff. We had like a fabrication course that we had to take. And the instructor for that was like, the sign of someone who actually knows how to do, like how to fully use everything they have available is someone who knows the complex ways of doing things, but does things efficiently with the simplest methods, right? Like possible in the situation, which that was the case, right? Like, in my opinion, out of all the codes I came across, that block of code we found was literally the most efficient with the least amount of fuck up possible. Once you understand the way the code works, that would just work. Now, there might have been a caveat in there. There might have been a number that could potentially not work. We know it worked for 3, for 4, for 26. Chances are maybe it bricks with 1. Maybe it bricks on 16. Don't know. I didn't run all the tests. I didn't feel like there was a need to. You know, in an actual testing environment, you probably would test it like 1 through 26. Like, there's definitely probably strings of code that you would be in. Probably if it's like, did they put in a 0? Yes. Well, then be like, you know, just return none or something like that. Like, you know, really easily fixed for stuff like that. But it's just like, that's kind of been one of my gripes when trying to look for information on through like overstacks and stuff like that. a lot of people kind of default to like what they do in the industry when someone's asking for like help on uh practicing something basic to build a foundation, which is common. That's I'm not like saying that people in like the coding sphere are dumb for that. I'm just saying that's common. Like a lot of times, if you know a lot of things, you tend to overthink something, or you tend to like over you tend to like look at things from a more complicated point of view, and then sometimes it's not exactly the best way to do something. It's just how it is. I don't know. It was part of my frustration also came from that was that there was a lot of like, well, import this, import that, do this, do that, and it's like I get it, right? Like because in the MIT stuff they've talked about it. They're just like don't make what's already been made, like just use that instead, which understandable to be honest. I mean, like I use import in the read write side project thing I've been working on, right? Like I got to import OS. Could I probably completely write that out myself? Yeah, probably. Will I? Hell to the no. I also decided to make the function that I would just import the function as is, from the import the function from actually, since there's skill damage going. I put the bow back in. Oh, actually, this is just good in general. But I don't know why I took it out. Did I take that? Oh, I took it out because this board you don't want all that skill damage. I forgot. Um, but yeah, it got a little. Part of that also kind of frustrated. Well, to be fair, that's not a one-time thing. I was getting really frustrated in some of the other ones when I was trying to find like inspiration, and I generally tried to avoid just looking for the solution to the exercise, right? Like I don't like, for instance, the name of that exercise was square of letters. I try to avoid like looking that up. That bullshit. Um, I usually tried to be like, okay, how to do list of a list or array or something. Like, I try to figure out what the step I'm getting stuck on is requiring and then do said step, right? And it's just like sometimes even that brings back where someone's like default answer is like, oh, import this and use this and that instead. And I'm sitting there like, you could get it done with like one line. Like, why are you saying to import? Like, just like the guy's just trying to figure out how the basic thing is. It's just like, it just gets really annoying. And to be fair, I think like part of that is due to my instructors from when I was getting my associate's degree, because they made it very, very clear. They were like, look, you need to understand how things work at a basic level before you can start using all the fancy shit. Because if you just skip straight to the fancy stuff, yeah, they'll do like half the work for you, but sometimes they won't work and you won't know how to change that or how to fix it or how to do like anything. And so generally, I'm kind of a firm believer that if there's basics and they're being taught a certain way, probably for a reason, probably something you want to figure out. Because actually, I don't know how importing with like class objects would work. I'm assuming it works like everything else. I guess I'll find out because I plan on making a class object for text files, like for TXT files. It's kind of like the game plan, and have that handle all the read, write, whatever. But it'll be interesting. Like first, I'll have to figure out like how to write all the functions for that, and then I'll try to figure out how to make it a class object, and then put it like in its own separate tool thing. But yeah, I can't believe I pulled the bow. I forgot the bow's good, like just in general to use because it adds a lot of damage. It's just well, I took it out because I thought it was auto attack, but it's just damage based on stamina. Wait, do I have that bow in my Kenga group? Let's check my Diaspora team. That bow might be in there, and I might have just pulled it out because I'm a dumbass. I don't know. It's been like a while since I like messed with my Earth grid. You could tell because I didn't have my Celestial Axe in there at all. Mm. I still need to show it. The superlative weapon I'm gonna get. I still might get Excalibur. It's just that I don't know if I'll be able to like I'll be able to get the grid up and running fast enough to use it. And the only one I've seen use it for Magna was using a main hand that I can't copy, which is the one for the sun, who I don't even have. I have I have the sun summon. I think it's like 4 starred. I think it's 5 starred, but I don't have like Alanan, so I can't get the weapon. And then even if I did have the weapon, I wouldn't give a shit because I'm working on Frau. So be able to duplicate it anyway. Because like what I was thinking was I was just gonna like probably use Lord of Flames on Excalibur, but I don't know if that would work. Especially because like at least I haven't checked the. Let me check PBF guides because the wiki only shows the what should we call it? Uh, the wiki only showed primal setup for Cryosaur for Hexa. But that guy used Magna. I'm curious if a GBF guide has a Magna Cryosaur setup. Have it set up by. Right, Cryosaur. You know, it seems like it's kind of expected that you'll use Agnew with the golden weapon if you're doing Cryosaur. I don't remember what else he used besides. Oh, he used Shiva? No, he used Zeta. I don't remember what the lineup was in that video off the top of my head anymore. So it looks like I have to just set up for Yamato. Which wants 2 Mugen Mark IIs. I guess we're gonna have to farm Mugen at some point. Oh my goodness. Is that stinky Cinna? I mean, Cinnadoncho? Goodness gracious, definitely not stinky. Definitely washes her hands. Hello, hello. How was the Pokemons? Welcome in. Hi, Raiders. Thank you for sticking through with Cinnadoncho's stinkiness. I know it's hard, but she enjoys your support. For those who may not know me, I'm Marshmallow Bear VTuber. I stream predominantly coding studying nowadays. Uh, you caught me on one of my like gaming nights. Is definitely grinding, definitely grinding grind blues because Exo Otis has things I need. Wait, I was about to end it. I guess I'll do just for you. I'll do 10 more runs, more than I was planning, which is probably like 20 runs total. Player, yeah, I've played this for like 8 years. Yeah, I used to stream it more regularly, but then I got caught up in other games. And then now with like learning Python, my brain is so fried at night that I just like I take break nights on Wednesday and Friday night. Uh and it's mostly just Granblue now because Granblue doesn't I have a lot of content in Granblue that I can grind that doesn't require thinking. So it's been kind of nice. But yeah. Have you been playing recently? Have you seen the Mjolnir debacle? But also, I hope your game was fun. Playing Pokemon. I've seen a lot of people playing the older Pokemon nowadays. You catch any legendaries? Brian the Beast. Oh. Saint Havers, rise up. Who'd you use your grand ticket for that we got for Christmas? Busy, I haven't done EXO event yet. You lazy. I mean, I feel like if you have a main hand gun done already, you probably don't need to worry about it. If you don't, I'd probably like bare minimum farm it. Like at least like have a level you can full auto till you grind enough to like buy the 4 guns and uncap it. I used it on Gabriel because my water team is lacking. I don't have any of like had. I now have Gabriel and Yatima, but I was missing a lot of the strong limited characters. Nehen, solid pick. I have been informed that apparently I have been slacking on Nehen, who I've owned since he's been released, and I barely use him like ever. Because I always just treated him as like an auto attack bot, and now I've been informed that they're just like, no, he's just really good in general. They've been using him more. Whoopsies. But yeah, I used it on Gabriel because I didn't have any of like the current strong. My water, for some weird reason, water is always the one. Well, not for some weird reason. I know why, but water is like I'm always behind on water characters. Unfortunately, it's due to the fact that like all of the really strong water characters were put on a Flash Gala for a long time, and then and then I hadn't been sparking. I haven't sparked on a Flash banner in forever because all of my recent sparks were always on the anniversary Zodiac banner, which is a Ledgefest banner. So like I'm missing like half of the Flash grands. The only Ledgefest grand I'm missing is Vayne. I have everybody else. Because when I sparked for Snake, I got Snake at the end, so I got Raph, and then I got Medusa along the way. So the only character I'm missing is Vayne, who arguably is like the weakest out of that entire batch. So I'm chilling. But now I have to decide if I want to spark on the Flash banner for anniversary roulette, right, where we get the 100 pulls, and then or if I'll just go again on the Zodiac banner to get Rat, who's the last Zodiac I'm missing. But I really don't want to pull on another Ledgefest banner. On my way. Mm-hmm. I wonder. if they'll give us the random one for anniversary that they've been doing, since they gave us a pick ticket for Christmas. Oh no, it's taking that. All right, I'll do 10 more runs in the in rejoicing for in the Dancho's rid, and then I gotta end because I am like dead tired. I've been up for like 8 in the morning. So we'll beat him up. We'll beat him up like 10 more times. Take stock. Which, to be fair, he's been stingy. To be honest, he's only given me since the last recount, which was like 30 minutes ago. He only gave me 2 fists and 1 gun, and I'd been doing this for like was doing this for like 2 hours. Well, hour and like 40 minutes. I was messing around with my team earlier because I was like, I hadn't messed with the grid for so long that it was kind of outdated. So it was not one shotting the level 80 dude like it is now. So that caused some time. Always, honestly. Yeah, it's also a struggle because I've been doing like it's kind of funny because there's always a mess because I'm lazy. Honestly, that was me until I picked up the coding thing because for Magna 3, I have set up uh I can reliably solo 4 of the fights for Magna 3 full auto. I can full auto Colossus like 70% of the time for Magna 3. I still haven't figured out why sometimes he kills my whole team and why sometimes he just gets the shit kicked out of him. And then Celeste Magna 3, I'm still working on it. I don't think my grid's strong enough to solo that yet, but I haven't had a decent run at it. The first try I did at it, I forgot that I did have full auto set on, so I had like 4 turns where it was just doing normal like auto and killed like one of my important members that I was kind of planning to use to keep the team alive. So embarrassing, but that's why I test stuff like that off stream so that way nobody sees. But even though I just outed myself. Um but yeah, so all I do is like while I'm studying during the day stream, I just have this full autoing on the Magna 3s. Though a lot of good that's doing me because fucking Yugu has given me 1 sword and I've been grinding her for like a month. Well, through my host, I haven't done like callbacks, but I have at least 1 Exalto done for Magna 3 for every element except for Dart because I literally only have a single sword. So my grids are slightly less of a mess. My grid's probably like the grossest one, but I can do my Diaspora host with it. And that's all that matters to me right now. Ooh, I just realized today is gonna be the first day I get to use my Ultimate Mastery Kengo. I'm excited. See if it actually makes a difference. Because I'm not gonna use any of the skills, because you don't need the skills for Diaspora. I think you know what? I just remembered. I think Yamato has Ultimate Mastery. I need to bump that up on Prio. That thing didn't. Oops. Mistakes made. I'm sitting here being like, I don't need to worry about because I was gonna stock up Diaspora mats to Ultimate Mastery Shield Sworn. Because Shield Sworn's supposed to be getting its Ultimate Mastery on the anniversary. So I wanted to have enough so that in case that's absolutely busted to just be able to, straight off the rip, got the Ultimate Mastery done. But now thinking about it, but like I was gonna like have enough for that. Then if I get enough surplus, I was going to Ultimate Mastery Spartan for enmity shenanigans because my win grid's basically almost done. I just need some more anima to finish. Well, let me break. Well, I have like I have 3 guns done, which you only really need 3 guns. I'm gonna go for 5 just in case something in the future pops up of being like insanely broken that uses 5 guns. But I have 3 guns on. I have 2 daggers gun, so I was gonna like uncap the 2 bows that I have and then Ultimate Mastery Spartan because Wind Spartan with those two bows is really strong. But now that I just remembered that Yamato exists again, because I think I've used that class like once. Uh, I now realized I probably need to do that instead of Spartan because that's used in a lot of endgame raids, and I need to somehow make a grid that can do Hexa and Fa Zero so I can get the stupid mats. So I can actually copy grids or more. Or more, and then we're free till Friday night when I do Arcarum because I want to get for Alpha Limit Break. But yes, I hope you have been well though. Have you been to any more cons since that last one you went to? Bad rotting mode. Honestly, I want a bad rot. I should have done that instead of studying. Should have just become one with my bed into the void. True. Bare final form is bed. It even has the same two starting letters. It was meant to be. Uh, yeah, I got up at like 8 today to go get late Christmas presents for my nieces for when my parents go visit like next week. And I didn't take a nap since I came home. I did my workout. I ate lunch that we had, which was incredibly unhealthy but fucking delicious. I hadn't had it in a while. I had chicken bacon ranch cheese fries, and then I had a grilled chicken Philly, which was it wasn't like a real one because it was like a fast food joint, but it was so good. I hadn't had it in so long. It was so good. But rip my calorie count for the day. To be fair, I didn't eat too big of a dinner to offset it. Got a baggie on you, baby. And then I just like studied during the day, ate some dinner, walked the dog, kind of just brain dead stared at my computer for like my dinner break. And then now I've been brain dead staring and yapping while Grand Blue grinding because honestly, I don't know what else to do while I'm doing Grand Blue. It's either I yap while I do Grand Blue or I like watch a video and don't say anything while I'm doing Grand Blue, which then is just like, why am I streaming Grand Blue? Why are we yappity yap? I don't know. I like Grand Blue though. I used to stream Grand Blue a lot, like at night. I think in like my first year. Because like there'd be especially like on the months where I'd have like really bad migraines. Watch YouTube, yeah, same. I'll either watch YouTube or I'm like full autoing something that takes a while. I'll go play something else while I'm like doing it. But like sometimes I get really bad migraines in the summer, and that's more like it. Okay, look at that. All right, for a bare minimum, we just need one more gun and one more fist. But I kind of want to get. Well, I mean, I'll probably have enough mats once I'm done farming. I wanted to get at least one full limit break attack awakening fist and one full limit break. Well, basically one of each awakening, right? So one special awakening, one attack awakening for both weapons. So, which we'll probably be able to do. Even if I don't get any more weapon drops through the rest of the event, I'm pretty sure I'll have more than enough materials once I'm done maxing the wonder. Nice. Nice. Oh, those made. Oh, and there's the other. Flip this. Oh, I am so terrible at like cleaning up my stash. Well, not really stash, but you know, my my like inventory. There's just so much shit in here that I should have like reduced, but I'm just too lazy. Like all of those, the Xeno weapons that don't really use at all. Uh, but they don't like auto reduce because they have the little like extra skill thing. Uh, too lazy to manually go through those and like sort them and like toss them out. Like I should probably keep this one and just toss the rest of these out. Like check these two, see if they're any good. But I'm too late. Let's see, where's the katana? I need to lock it so I don't accidentally get mixed up on which one is the one that I have uncapped. Two is a bit much. I don't think I've ever. I've seen like a couple setups that use two. One for like Cryosaur offhanding and one for like grids. So just keep two just in case for like the harder content. I want to get two Diaspora fists done because I've seen a couple grids that make use of two defense ones. Uh, I'm well. I would say I'm done with the katanas, but I'm not. I want to do one more defense one. Realistically, like it's probably more efficient. Well, it's probably not necessarily efficient, but it's probably like fine if I just keep flipping it to what I need. Because the sheer amount of like Diaspora mats I'll get while I'm trying to grind for all that is probably enough. My journey drops, which I rarely ever use much. Uh it sucks though. I was doing my host for the martial mastery, the one for the champion class weapons for like Viking and all that, because it was part of the free host mat thing. Because it's not like I can't get them, I'm just too lazy to go buy all 6 different distinctions that I need. Well, big success. Uh, so I was doing the host while while it was free, and I failed the first one because the first one I was kind of being a dumbass, and I just like tried to full auto it. Um, but then after that, I started manualing it, and it was pretty easy to get. Like I think I was like, how many honors was I walking out with it? Depending on what he would do, because sometimes he would be out to like get my biscuits because he would just keep doing the plane damage omen, and then I just have to eat it because the only plane source of plane damage I have with my light team is my bub summon. Yeah, usually I was getting anywhere between 6.79 to I think almost 8 mil honors on my host once I got used to it. I could usually get secure MVP if I just kept getting the triggers for yeah, say 9 mil here. Yeah. Like sometimes I could secure it depending on like what people showed up. And if he just didn't give me too many of the plane damage ones. DS4 is kind of nice because I now have it down to anywhere from like 11 to 12 turns, depending on like uh what turns I have. Yeah, see, I was able to do this. Well, this one was actually kind of. I was only able to do it because I got a lot of like cracked out gamers. Like I barely like I was only like 900,000 above this guy, and that was just because there was a bunch of other people also beating the crap out of it. Oh, but that was before I got Ultimate Mastery on Kengo. I probably could have stats probably helped a little bit more. Oh, goodness gracious. But we got a good amount done for the grinding. Gonna call it there. I am like dead tired. My brain is like stop thinking. Uh, we're gonna say had a nugget. Is suffering in Apex. No, no, thank you for the raid. Glad to see that you have exited the bed rotting to grace us with your streams. But yes, more Grand Blue. We should have a Grand Blue yapping session one day just to yap about our woes for Grand Blue. I feel like it'd be fun. Oh, I should ask Q if he wants to do it. Me and Q, I have somebody else who streams who plays Grand Blue. He doesn't really stream Grand Blue, but me and Q had talked about once about like just whatchamacallit, like collabing Guild Wars. Like we'll just be grinding Guild Wars. We'll just sit there just talking random shit while we do it. I want to see, like, I need to see if there's a time we can line that up for a future Guild Wars because I feel like that'd be pretty fun. We could just get a bunch of us who just play Guild Wars just to yap while we're dying in the Guild War mines. You know, solidarity. We're gonna go say hi to Nugget. She's playing APEP. Tomorrow is all day coding with Grand Blue on the side, like usual. So thank you, Doncho, for the raid. Thank you everybody for watching. If it's early in the day, if you get it. If it's late in the day, if you help yourself, stay safe, stay hydrated. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.